Grab your charms, Wargamers. We are going to take a third stab at John Lambshead's excellent 1 Hour Skirmish Wargames. That's right, we're going back to Napoleonics, although after our last Napoleonic after-action report, I wouldn't be surprised if John Lambshead, sometime contributor to the comment section, doesn't want to be seen in good company with us. The joy of wargaming is kind of the bad boys of miniature wargaming. Kind of a weird thing to be the bad boys at, but what are you going to do? Hey, listen. This is a black powder report, and we're going to play through the scenario included in the Napoleonic set. I mean, this is a universal set for any shooty type action you want, and it includes separate sections and period-specific rules for everything from black powder to science fiction. The Napoleonic battle is a fight for a cannon. It's going to sit right here in the center of our battlefield. Now, for those of you that have these rules who have seen it, you're going to notice something that we've actually flipped the script. In the rules that John provides for us, we have a group of British ground pounders going after, trying to prevent a French mixed unit of cavalry and infantry from recovering this cannon here. I don't have any cavalry printed up for the French, so we're just going to flip it around, and these guys are going to be the attackers. Everybody wants to get they want to get the cannon off of their side of the board. They want to stop them. That's all there is to it. I'll show you how simple the roster is here as we take a closer look at our British. As you can see, now in this case, the French army has 1 mounted lieutenant and 5 chasseurs who's cavalry with a carbine, and then you've got a sergeant with 9 privates. So what we've got here, this guy here holding the stick, I still haven't had a chance to mount a flag on him. He's going to be our cavalry lieutenant, and this guy holding the stick right here, take a closer look at him. He doesn't have a stick. Where is he? Oh yeah, this guy right in front. I put him in front so I'd be able to recognize him. He is going to be our infantry sergeant. Leader 1, leader 2. Everybody's got, what do we got? The mounted guys got carbines. Everybody's got musket carbines, no big deal. Carbines all have a range of 18 inches. 1 shot takes 2 actions to reload them. Big mistake I made previously is I said, 1 action point to move this guy. 1 action point to move him, 1 action point to move him. Au contraire, mon wargaming frere. What happens is it costs 1 point to move him the first time, 3 action points to move him again, and 5 to move him a third time in that turn. So for 8 points, 9. Me, I'm good at math. 9 points, you can take 3 moves. For another 2 points, you can reload. And for another point, you can shoot. So you could theoretically, if you wanted to spend all 12 points, you could move a guy 3 times, reload, and then shoot. But anytime you shoot, that guy is done for the turn. Let's turn our attention over to the French. Here you can see our French, and we have to resolve something. As you can see from my figures, I've got 1 leader type, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 guys with muskets. And I have an issue because the order of battle, the oob that Lambshead offers, is a corporal with a musket, a private who's a bruiser, a fighty type, and 5 privates. And then you need a sergeant, a private, and 2 more riflemen. Well, that means I need a corporal, a sergeant, 2 privates, and 7 riflemen. All right, here's what we're going to do. Clearly, the sergeant is the guy waving his hat around and screaming at everybody else in the unit. Fine. Then we're going to have 2 privates. And I'm going to go ahead and drop 2 green tags underneath our privates just so we know which ones are the privates. That's all that means. And then we have Corporal Riley, who is a leader 1. And I'm going to go ahead and make Corporal Riley, I guess we'll just call him this guy. Okay? So that way we know who our sergeant is, our corporal, and our 2 snipers. I'm going to have both of these guys serving as snipers. They have both been tasked with killing French officers. So when they are firing at Lieutenant Giroir, who is this guy, they can draw 2 cards. So that's their mission. I'm giving up the bruiser. I'm swapping him out for a second sniper. Good luck to you, buddy boy. Couple of notes on terrain. Our 4 little copses of trees over there do count as cover. When you're shot at in cover, you draw an extra card for defense. The trees will just move out of the way. You cannot shoot through it, but you can shoot into it. In other words, you can shoot across one brown line, but not two. Anybody inside this copse can be shot at. They've got cover. The hills block line of sight from here to here. Basically, if you're on one side of the hill, you can see across the crest, but not over to the back side of the hill. The hills and the trees count as slow terrain. They will slow your movement. I need to double check the rules on that. And then, of course, the swamps over here are impassable, but you can shoot across them. The cannon counts as cover and is impassable, but you can shoot past it. As far as setup goes, the French set up first, and as you can see, our two snipers set up within shooting distance. The victory conditions are very simple. Drive your enemy from the field. The French win if they've got a figure within 6 inches of the cannon at the end of 5 game turns. No figures within 5 turns, the British win. The French set up first. They put 2 guys defending that obstacle. Defending the cannon, I guess we should say. Their 2 snipers have a pretty good line of fire, and they are in cover. They each have a couple of guys helping defend them, and then the sergeant decided to set up on this hill with a clear line of sight. Might be a problem because, for their part, the British decided to put their cavalry all over here on their left flank. They're going to go with the leader and 6 infantry right up the middle, and then they've got 3 guys going to go ahead and do a flanking attack. So kind of a broad front to try and get around and distract these guys. We'll have to see what cards come up. That will help determine what their overall strategy is. In fact, I think I like this angle just a little bit better. So let me go ahead and move the British cards. We'll cut that deck so we can see that everything is above board. And then for now, we'll move the French deck. Of course, the French. So we'll go with the pretty girl, ooh la la, for the croissant eaters. And I think we're ready to go. Turn number 1, we begin by checking for initiative. That means our attackers get to go first, so we turn over another card to find out how many action points they get. And with just 3 action points, we'll go ahead and move a couple of cavalry men up just the one time. They have opted not to move the full 9 inches. They're going to take cover behind this hill. For their part, the British get 5 points. Now, they have a range of 18 inches. So we're going to go ahead and take a couple of shots at these. Well, I mean, we could shoot at the leader. Might as well shoot at the leader, right? So it'll be 2 shots for these guys. And you do have to reload. And remember that once you have fired, it takes 2 action points to reload. Might as well take it. And then we're going to move some guys around. So that's our 2 shots. Well, I suppose I should wait until we see a Joker relive. First, this guy's going to shoot. And he's going to shoot at him. And with a king versus a 2, he goes down. Then that second shot is going to be a queen versus a 5. And a leader goes down. Now, he's not dead yet. We're going to check for casualties in a little bit. They still have 3 actions left to go. So we'll bring these guys 6 inches up to here. Now we're going to slow those guys down. I think we have one more move. Let's bring the sergeant over to here as well. So we got one more set of eyes on here. Then it goes back to the British, who are only going to get 2 action points. Okay, we'll bring up 2 more cavalrymen. And then back to the French, who have a queen, which is 10, 11, 12 action points altogether. So I guess the first thing we're going to want to do, moving through woods, these guys, I guess, are light infantry because they can move a total of 6 inches. We'll put them right at the peak of the woods for a total of 2 action points. Well, hang on. See, I always do this backwards. We're going to move one of these guys up, and he's going to take a shot at this guy. So that's just 2 actions. You know, because I'm afraid of drawing a Joker, I'm going to spend 2 4 actions to do that. So there's 4, 5, and then the shot is 6. With an 8 and a 7, he goes down. That's only 6. Moving up here is going to be 7. Taking another shot is going to be 8. And we're shooting at this group of 3. King versus... Wow, these are some pretty sharp shooting French we got going on here, huh? The game moves quick. That's only... so what did we do? We said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, look at that. We can go ahead and take 2 more shots. 9, 10, and then we'll still have 1 action point left over. You know, I'm going to use that 1 action point first. I'm going to bring one of these guys down here. Those cavalrymen have the French a little bit nervous. And then we still have 2 more shots. So the first shot is going to be him, and he's going to get a 9 versus a 3. And then that second shot is going to be a 10. Wow, man. Versus a 9, and he goes down too. Who dealt these cards? This is nuts. At least it is the British turn to have 1 point. All right, our cavalry is slowly making their way up. We get to go again, and with just 6 points, we got 3 guys that we can afford to reload. So what we're going to do is we're going to do reload, reload. That's 2, 4, and we'll go ahead and reload this man here on the point as well. That's the 6. Back to the British, who finally get some points to do something. And first we're gonna give up on this flanking maneuver. We'll bring number 6 over here for the first point. Put you back in there. So we got 10. So that's 1 action, and we'll put the 10 here just to remind us. Then we've got up to 4 shots here. So he'll take the first shot at these guys. Muskets have a range of 18 inches. We are well within that range. The difficulty here is that he drew a 1. He gets to draw 2 cards, and he defends with a 10. All right, we got another guy that can take a shot and draw a 3 versus a defense of a 2 and a 7. All right, so that's shot number... Oh, you know what we could do, though? Why don't we do this? Why don't we move him up 6 inches? We're going to get closer before we shoot. He's actually going to come 6 inches to about there. And then all of these guys, he'll move up 6 inches, take the shot from there. He'll move up 6 inches, take the shot from there. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the shot. At the cannon, and his attack card is going to be a 4 versus a defense of Q and 8. So no effect there either. So we've done 2, 4, 6, 8, and we need to 8, 9. These guys can move up to 9 inches. 9. Well, you know what? Let's bring them back there so that these guys at least don't have a shot over the hill. There's your 10. That's all they can do. And then it's back to these guys. Now, they only have 1 action point. So, we'll take a shot with one of these guys. Seems to be paying off, right? Now, we're still in the first turn, by the way. So he takes a shot at one of these guys that's already fired and draws a 2. The guy that already fired draws a king. And that's the end of the French turn. The British have 9 action points to their name. Here's the choice. Move 9 inches around this, or move 6 inches to the top. So for 4 of these action points, now we're onto the British. They have a 9. We're going to charge into hand-to-hand combat with this first guy. He's going to make contact. Because he's a cavalryman, he's going to attack with 2 cards. He gets a 10 and a king, and our defender only gets a jack, so he goes down. That's 1 action point out of our 9. We still have 8 left. If he charges this guy, he's going to be charging an obstacle. It's going to cost him 4 points to get into contact with these guys. And any one of these boys is also going to, at 9 and then 6, So it'll be 1 action to there for 1 point, and then 3 more. Now he can only move 6 because he's up on the hill. But at least he makes contact, so he gets to draw Ruh-roh Raggy. When the Joker is drawn, play instantly stops and the turn is over, and we move on to turn number 2. I'll put my turn counter down here. Hopefully it's out of the way. And then we need to reshuffle these cards. No, we don't. We have to check morale, and the way you check morale is by counting the number of casualties. It's the first turn. We haven't suffered any casualties, so both sides automatically pass. The next thing we need to do is test for casualties. We're going to check every one of our downed models for recovery. We're going to draw a resolution card for each model, and on a black card, the model stands up. On a red card, we take them out. So we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 is dead, 2 is fine, he stands back up. 3 is removed, 4 is removed, and now our leader is also removed, and then this last casualty, he stands back up and he's ready to continue the fight. That's how we check our casualties, and we'll have to reshuffle that deck. But we also have one guy that we got to check for the defenders, and he is out of the fight. He got kebabbed by the cavalry. Now we can reshuffle these cards and move on to turn number 2. All right, you're going to have to take my word that I did a full shuffle on these, 3 full riffles, but I am going to cut it just to keep myself honest. And then we have to draw for initiative. This time, the Redcoats get the initiative, and their first action is going to be, 2 points. So we're going to move him around for 1, and he makes contact. We immediately do hand-to-hand combat. Because he is cavalry, he's going to draw 2 cards. Queen of Diamonds beats a 4. Now you've got a second casualty there, and the French are going to have to try to get somebody in contact. We do have a guy in contact over here, but he's going to have to use that second action to fight in combat. So defensive 3 versus an ace and a 7 means that guy goes down. But that's all the time that the British have for their attacks. The Joker turns over. That's the end of turn 2, except we have to do morale. Now, as I said before, we need to add up the number of casualties. See those 4 dead guys over there? Remember, their motivation is 3. So they automatically win because they only have the 1. I guess I should put him back here on the road just so I remember. He's dead. Whatever they draw, add 3, it's going to be more than 1. Over here, if they draw, we're going to add this card, add 2, and that result has to be more than 5 or the British give up. So with 6, it has to be 5 or more rather. So with 6, they will continue to fight. Note that we've got 1 casualty here we need to check for. No, we've got 2. He is dead, and now this guy over here stands back up to continue to fight for another day. But it is turn 3, and they still have not won. So we'll shuffle those cards, and we will give it a good cut. And we'll draw for initiative. This time initiative goes to the French, who are going to be able to take a whopping 12 actions. All right, well, the first answer here is going to be obvious. We're going to go ahead and pull our leader back 6 inches to there, and then again to here. So that's 4, and likewise 8. Well, before I move this guy, I suppose I should complete our leader's action. He's going to take a shot. So that's going to be a total of 5 actions to take a shot at the near guy. Now, because they're paused in hand-to-hand combat, wait a minute. Oh, hey, I got this wrong. When you lose in hand-to-hand combat, you're a casualty. You don't get another chance. That does change things a little bit. So he is actually dead. Hey, look at that. We're doing better. We're being a lot more accurate this time around. Nothing else changes. We do still have a lot of actions here. So 1, 4, 5 to take the shot here. And a king versus an 8 puts him down. Then we're going to do the same thing with him. He's going to come around to here to try to stay back. We'll actually run him around this way. And he's going to take a shot then at this cavalryman. So he needs to reload. And that's 10 actions altogether. And with his shot, it's going to be a swing and a miss. So that's 10. And we've got 2 more left to go. So let's... Do any of these snipers have a shot? Yeah, he does. Are these... Well, I mean, they're the only sniper special rule is for killing the officer. And because that officer's already dead, it doesn't really make a difference. But we can take a shot here, so we might as well do it. 5 versus a 7 is going to be a miss. And then we might as well have this guy. That is our sergeant. Does he have any special rules? Sergeant Flat, he's a leader. He's got a rifle. He's just going to take a shot as well. And he's going to get a jack versus a defensive 5, and that puts this cavalryman on the ground. It is now the redcoat's turn. We get 9 actions. So we're going to move each of these guys up 6 inches and reload. That's 3 actions. 6 inches and reload. That's 6, 7, 8, and 9. Moving on to the... Ooh, they only get 2 actions this time. Well, that's kind of a spicy meatball. Why don't we move him 6 inches to there? With the first action, we'll take a shot, and we'll shoot at this guy since he has not fired yet. With a 6 and a king, that's a miss. Redcoats go. 11. Oh, I miscounted, didn't I? Should have been 13. Oh, that's 11 action points. That's a lot of action points. All right, you can only move 6 inches. So it's because you're on the hill, remember. Whereas these guys can move 9. Big thing is to try to keep them away, but they got a ways to go. Let's go ahead and use 4 of those 11 to close to melee. Defender gets a 7. Our cavalryman with the saber gets an 8 and a 9. And you got to draw the cards, right? Because of those jokers are so important. That is a kill. So that is 4 points down there. We're going to move this cavalryman 9 to there. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let's take a shot with him. That's going to be... Wait a minute. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we got 3 shots. Actually, let's move him over to here. Because we just want to keep him away at this point. Just flush him away. And then we've got 3 guys that can shoot. And we're going to shoot with him first. He's going to fire over here at the leader. And it's an even Steven, 6 versus a king. Leader's okay. He'll fire at the leader. Ace versus a jack. King's okay. And then we've got 1, 2, and 3. I think that's my last action point. 1 here, 1 here. Red chips need a reload. It's getting a little messy out there, guys. 7 action points for them. We'll reload. And then we'll take a shot. Total of 3 action points there. Shooting with a 2, defending with a red joker. Full stop. All right, need to check our casualties. Remember, these guys have a motivation of 3. We are going to at least be able to tie. In fact, it's worse than you think because we're going to draw once, and then because we have a leader, what is his leader skills? 1 or 2? Leaders let you draw extra cards. The French have a leadership. They're a sergeant still around, so they get to draw 2 extra cards. Oh, bing, bing, and look at that, they passed. These guys only get to draw 1 card, but they're adding 3 to it, so they pass as well. We are now on to turn 4, but we have to do casualties. We've got casualty here, and he's out. And then we have a casualty here, and he is also out. That's the end of the turn. Moving on to turn number 4, and we'll go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. We'll shuffle and be right back. And as always, we are going to cut these decks for posterity. Make sure you guys know. We'll do a little triple cut there for you and turn it over for initiative. Ace versus 4. The Redcoats get to go first, and they've got a whopping 10 points to go. So we're going to start off by charging here. Footman gets a king. Cavalryman gets... Wow, look at that! He's out of the fight. That was only 1 action point. We will... Here's a question. We're going to measure from, I don't know, the center of the piece. They don't have anybody within 6 inches. I'm going to have to fix that there, Frenchies. Why don't we bring our 2... Let's bring one of our snipers up to here for 1 point. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's still the Redcoats' turn. So that was 1 point, and we're going to do some reloading. We're going to move up to cover and reload. That's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to move up to cover and take a shot with this guy. And we're shooting at that leader right there. He defends with a 2, and that's with a 9. So he goes down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he moved with 3, 4, 5, 6. Reload, 7, 8, 9 to move up. We got a lot of casualties over there. I'm not sure we want to risk hand-to-hand combat. We've got a total of... Oh, that was our... Was that our night? Was that our last action point for these guys? 9. We've got 1 more. This may sound crazy, but let's bring him around to here. See if we can't get around to those guys next turn. It is the French turn. They're only going to get 5 action points, which is fine. We're going to bring... Man, there's just no cover within 6 inches, is there? We will... Oh, we're going to flood it. We're going to bring this guy 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a total of 5 points, right? We got 1 shot here. We'll pull him back. We're going to bring him line abreast, and he's going to come up and take a shot at this guy for his 5th point. So we got 4 guys that moved, taking a shot, and he actually does put him down. But it's the Redcoats' turn, and they get 1 action, and at that point, we might as well go ahead and bring him to contact. Defending with a 3, Cavalryman draws a 5 and an 8. He is now out of the fight. And I think this is the way to go, right? Just keep throwing those cavalrymen at them because you get that extra card. It's back on to the French. The only downside is with 9 points. Let's start by reloading. And then we're going to reload and shoot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 2 and a 5 means the cavalryman's okay. 2, 3, 4. And then we'll reload. What do you say? We had 9, so that was... Him reloading is 6, 7. And then he's going to take a shot for number 8. And he's shooting at this cavalryman with a 4 versus a 3. Cavalryman's okay. And then we have one more shot, so we'll go ahead and, or one more shot or one more move. Which do we want to take? Let's bring this guy over to represent a threat from this direction as well, okay? And that'll be the 9th for the French, turning it on over to, whoa, here come all those actions that the Redcoats are waiting for. Speaking of, so we'll bring him around. Let's go, well, first of all, let's go with this guy first. He's going to move to contact for the first. That is 1 action point. Defending with a 1, attacking with a 1 and a 6. He is now out of the fight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make another attack. 9 versus King 3. He's out of the fight. And then 9. I know that's expensive, but this is going to roll him up. 6 versus 7, 2. And now he's out of the fight as well. And we finally started racking up some casualties. 9, and then we'll go ahead and bring you up 6 inches to there as the last action. Not a lot of time left for the Redcoats. 7 action points for these guys. We'll reload him and then take a shot. So that's 3 actions here. I don't know if the French have enough people left to be able to win this game. 3 actions there is going to be... who's he shooting at? He's shooting at Cavalryman, I guess. Because Cavalryman... Tie! Ooh. No, that's not a tie. It's, it goes reverse alphabetical order, remember. Spades, hearts, wins, Cavalryman's okay. So that was 1, 2, 3, and then I guess we just rush to within and hope that Joker comes up. Now it is their turn, and the Queen ain't going to do it, guys. We'll charge with the cavalry for the first of our points. First of our 12. Defending with the King. Ooh, that was a tough son of a gun there. Fine, we'll charge him with this guy too. That's the 2nd. Defends with a 7. Attacks with a 7 and a 6. Straight up ties. Oh, we got one. Let's see what happens. 7 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds. You draw 1 more card to settle the issue for good. And with a jack, that means that this guy is not afraid of horses at all, is he? We did 1, 2. We still have 10 more action points to go. So let's bring him over. That's 9 inches. He's not going to be able to... I don't think there's a clear line of sight, is there? He's going to come up just short. And he's done. Then we're going to go ahead and shoot with this guy. King versus Jack. Puts him down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Taking a shot. And we got a guy in cover. Gets 2 cards, so he's okay. 6, 7, 8. Oh, we're going to reload him. 9, 10. And then he's going to take his shot. And again, we get 2 defensive cards. Looking to beat an 8. And it actually works. So he goes down. And then I think that's it. Becomes the French's turn, but they don't have any guys that are left to act. So they pass. And now we get to reload. Oh, you know, what happens if you charge a guy that's on the ground? I think that if you move to there, and you move to there, and you move to there, I'm not sure. I looked through the rules. It didn't jump out at me right away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give each one of these a separate combat, but I will give an extra card, so we're doing this one first, to the attacker. 1, 2, 3. So he is removed. In this combat, it's going to be a 4 versus a 6, 7, Queen. He is removed. So the only guy who's left is him, and he is got a 3 versus the extra card Joker. So the game that ends the turn, and we need to check for morale. So this could be interesting, but we're going to check their morale first. 3 plus, oh, actually over here. 3 plus their motivation of 2 is a 5. So they have failed their check. On the other hand, these guys get a 4 plus 3 is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they both failed. I think this is a draw. Taking a closer look at the victory conditions, what we find is that the French win if they have a soldier within 6 inches of the gun, which you'll note they do not. So the French didn't win. The British win if they break the French army, which they did, but they also broke. So I'm going to call this as any other result as a draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call this a narrow British victory. In other words, the British were able to seize that gun, but they paid a high blood toll. Look at all of those casualties. In fact, this mission was far more expensive than the command intended it to be, and that means that although they won, it was very much a Pyrrhic victory for the Redcoats. Hey, I think we did a lot better this time. We might have gotten a couple of action points goofed up here and there. We may have forgotten a couple of the leaders. The British, bear in mind that they may have been able to grab an extra card. Somebody, anybody? Nope. So a couple of minor mistakes. If you spotted them, by all means, let me know in the comments. I really want to know if I've got everything right, if I did a little bit better. One thing I noticed later on is that if you are engaged in hand-to-hand combat when that Joker comes out, here, check it out. Hey, we're fighting, bro. And then, oh, look, the Joker came out. You immediately stop the turn, but you need to pull these guys back 2 inches. That resolves one of the issues I had for what happens. I do need to go back and look. If you know, what happens if I've got a situation where my guys are lined up and I've used 1 point and I kill him? Can I use, I mean, this is huge, right? Can I spend another 3 points to move to contact and fight again and another 5 points? I mean, that's a lot of casualties, but it's taken a total of 9 movement points. If I've got a line of cavalry, why would I do that when I could spend 1 point to move him and then another point to move him? It's much more efficient to do it this way, but I need to know if that is an option. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. If you got interested in any of my questions, shoot me a comment down there in the best comment section on this or any other YouTube. Until next time, I'm praying for you.